Hi, I'm Thomas. If you're looking to learn a new programming language, platform, SDK, I'm going to introduce Flutter to you. I'm going to tell you what Flutter is and the greater context that you need in order to make a decision. In a sentence, Flutter allows you to write an app once, and you can then run it on Android and iPhone natively. Basically, instead of having to write two apps, one for each platform, you only write it once. Saves you a lot of time and money. To understand where it fits in, you have to kind of go back into the history of mobile app development. In the beginning, phones were really low powered and you had to do a lot of tricks in order to make apps be responsive. And so you had to be really close to the actual phone to make it, well, native apps. However, the problem is, if you want to support iPhone and Android, and usually you can't choose, you have to write the app twice the effort, twice the money. And so a lot of people early on wanted to have a cross-platform SDK, so you write an app once and it runs on both. And these cross-platform SDKs were usually wrappers around the native APIs. So you could only use what the wrapper exposed to you. And so wrappers usually didn't expose everything because it's too expensive to develop. And so you only had limited access to the phones and performance was pretty bad. So people only used it for really simple websites like a brochure with just some graphics. And then React Native came, which changed everything. It was suddenly a cross-platform SDK that was good enough. It was developed by Meta. It also uses JavaScript. And so a lot of web developers knew JavaScript, and it was really easy for them to get into app development. And that's why we're seeing today, lots of companies use React Native, lots of developers know React Native, there's a big ecosystem. And then Google brought Flutter to the market. And Flutter, it came later and had more time to kind of absorb what would be a really good architecture to build these things on. So it has its own rendering engine, and instead of wrapping around native SDKs, it has its own rendering engine. And that means you get pixel perfect layouts on all the apps rather than distortions. Also, it avoids performance bottlenecks that React Native has, so you get faster performance, almost native. And because of these reasons, it's growing in popularity. By some metrics, it's already starting to overtake React Native. For example, I looked up on Udemy, the top 2 Flutter courses have 500,000 people who bought a course, 500,000 people. So it is popular. Let's step back. If you want to decide on what you want to use a native app only for niche applications. Sometimes you need really specific phone access to phone APIs or very specific performance needs. You would write a native app for each platform. If you're looking at what's popular right now, one has a lot of engineers. If you're a company and you want to easily hire a lot of people, or if you're a developer looking for lots of companies that are hiring, React Native is a good choice. However, if you're looking towards the future of what are companies and people choosing to build new apps, then Flutter is a choice. So I am offering in-person courses in New York City. Instead of learning it alone by yourself, you can come to a workshop, you have other people who motivate you, share tips with you, you get personal guidance. Check it out.